Welcome back to the Triple XP Arcade, the podcast where nerd culture levels up. We're here to press X on all things nerdy. So grab a token, press start, and let's rack up some
Triple XP!
Today in the arcade, as always, we have myself, Drew.
Everyone, you have Lex logged in.
What's up? It's Gigs.
On today's episode, we have our last topic for the last 2 weeks of our October Outbreak series, and we're going to be doing our Villain Versus, or otherwise we're calling this the Villain Tournament of Terror. And in these 2-episode series, we have our top 16 movie villains that we've picked across all horror movies that we could think of. This is the top 16. And we're going to, on this episode for part 1, we're going from 16 to 8. Then next week on Halloween, we're going to go from 8 to our final top 1 best movie villain of all time, in our opinion. Now, there are a few factors that'll play into sort of how we make our decision about which villain is better in each matchup. So let's just do a quick roundtable and let everyone know what perspective or what lens we're going to be looking at each matchup with, so that our listeners know when we vote the reasons behind why we're voting that way. So just for it to make a little bit of sense, I'll start. So for example, as I look at these matchups, I'm going to be looking at it from the perspective of which of these movie villains is the scariest in the matchup. Which movie villain would I most want to avoid being in the same universe in? And I'm going kind of driven primarily by fear. Who would I be most scared of between that matchup? And that's going to be usually who's going to be my top pick between a matchup. Lex, how about you?
I'm going for a pure test of strength. If I see them match together, this is going to be like Alien versus Predator style, or Freddy versus Jason. Battle of wits and battle of muscles.
I like that. It's always nice when you have some movie support when you put Freddy versus Jason or Alien versus Predator, because you can physically see in canon who would win in a fight. But we're gonna have some unique matchups here, so I'm really interested to get that perspective. Gigs, how about you? What's your criteria?
I'm going to be looking at it from the layman or the everyday person, just because, as I've mentioned before, I haven't seen as many movies as you guys, so I'm coming at it from a someone who's only seen ads or just seen them in music videos or whatever they've been in the zeitgeist and the impressions that it's given on the general public. That's me.
That's a really good perspective too, because a lot of our listeners may not have seen a lot, if any, of these scary movies. So I think it'll be really good to just know sort of pop culture impact. Have you even heard of this villain versus the other? What cultural significance do they hold? I like that. I think between the three of us, we're going to have a well-rounded debate on who's going to win each matchup. So without over-explaining it, let's just jump right into the matchups. We have, like I said, our 16 bracket list, and we've randomly selected each matchup, and we're just going to go top down, and we're going to see who wins. So our first matchup is Michael Myers from the Halloween series versus Death from the Final Destination franchise. This one's a bit of a weird one to get started with, but we have to start with classic Mike Myers, right? I shouldn't say Mike Myers. I should say Michael Myers.
Shrek.
Shrek versus Death.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we're going with Halloween Michael Myers, not Canadian Austin Powers, not that Mike Myers.
Definitely.
Let's just kind of like have an open chat about this. Let's lay some information out there. Michael Myers, very classic horror movie villain. If I could play the Halloween theme song, I would here if it was not copyright. But, you get the classic theme music with Michael Myers, classic movie villain tropes where he slowly stalks at you. He is never really running at you or chasing you. He's just like weirdly walking at a very brisk pace, but yet somehow always catches up to you, right? So in these Halloween movies, you're not really getting away from Michael Myers. But on the other side of the coin, we're talking about death from Final Destination. It's kind of hard to dispute the fact that you're getting away from death, because in those movies, it always catches up to you as well. You're not getting away from either of these, really. Lex, what do you think between... This one's a little bit tricky from sheer physical strength, but what do you think in a fight between these two?
Oh, this one's easy. Michael Myers.
Oh,
Michael Myers.
Please explain.
Yeah, based on the sheer amount of movies he's had, he has officially cheated death multiple times.
Oh, he's beat death
Right.
on his own terms. I see.
And that's
what
not a
you mean.
spoiler alert. The fact that he has multiple movies, you know, he hasn't died in Halloween 1, 2. How many? I don't even know how many there are.
I was going
But
to
there's a
ask
lot.
how many there are.
There are 10 Halloween movies.
Oh my god! The last one was literally called Halloween X, right, or something, or was it X?
Halloween Kills?
Oh, I don't
Halloween
know.
Kills. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they did a little bit of like I think they did a reboot in somewhere in the middle there. But you're right, Lex. In all of the movies, I don't know if this may
Comes
be...
back.
Yeah, I don't know if this is in the spirit of the debate here, but as a little fun trivia fact for everyone, it's actually the creator who created the Michael Myers character. It's actually in the movie contracts that he's not allowed to die in the movies. So
Oh, he wins
he
by
is-
technicality, I think.
yeah, he is an evergreen character who they're just... I think the intention is there to be able to milk as much of that IP as possible, but it is true though, Lex. In 10 movies of Halloween, Michael Myers technically does not die. He's cheated death
Yeah.
10 times.
They've gotten some pretty good, I guess, because he hasn't died. They've gotten some pretty good knockouts out of him with some unique ideas. So, in the sense, I feel like death has been trying in each of the movies he's been in. You know, in that
That's
sense.
true.
Interesting.
But just can't get that guy.
There is the thought or the concept in the Final Destination movies that I think they breach in the first couple movies of that series, where they say, well, if we can cheat death or something, that it'll skip over whoever its turn is, and then you're safe. I don't know how well that theory holds up as you watch more of those movies, but there's a general sort of idea that you can beat death in those movies, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. What were you thinking, Giggs?
Oh, I was going to say, so Michael Myers is the same person in every movie? Like it's the same person just coming back, not like a copycat type
Yep. It's
son
Michael
of
Myers
Jason.
every single time.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, there you
Not
go.
Shrek, just so we're clear.
And he wears like a pumpkin head. Am I mistaken this? Or is that just the cover of a movie that I'm thinking of? Okay.
That's the cover of the first couple Halloween movies. Really great movie cover. Because if you look, each slice or segment of the pumpkin is actually a knife. Very well done, very well designed. But Michael Myers wears a sort of a plain white mask. And actually, another fun fact, this is a imprint from Captain Kirk when William Shatner was playing Captain Kirk. And they took an imprint of William Shatner's face and kind of redid it, painted it white, made the eye holes bigger, kind of scruffed up the hair. And that's the Michael Myers mask that we see today.
I see it in my head now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So from your perspective, Giggs, I mean, these are two big ones. We're talking about Michael Myers and death. What do you think in that matchup?
So clearly I've not seen any of the Halloween movies, but I have seen a couple Final Destinations and Death, I guess. And it is kind of funny and clever in some of the ways it chooses to try and kill people. But I would actually give it to Michael Myers in my head, because he's visually like a character. Like Death doesn't have... We can't see it in any of the movies. I think it's like a misty thingy in some of the movies, I believe. But it's not like... You can't dress up as Death unless you go with like the boring Family Guy Death. You know what I mean? Just like the black cloak. That's not really the same. Yeah, that's not really the same thing. So I think Michael Myers is cooler in this regard, just because, even though I forgot, but yes, I can see the character now with the William Shatner mask.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, that's like a Halloween costume. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. From my perspective, I do think for this matchup, I'm going to agree with both of you. I think Michael Myers takes the win in this matchup for me because, I mean, you're looking at both, and both are sort of equally scary. You can't escape death. I mean, what's the saying? There's certainties in life, death, and taxes. I think are the two, or is there three?
Sounds right.
I mean, those two are for sure.
Yeah. So you have certainties in life. Death is coming regardless, but Michael Myers brings death with him and might be coming right now. So that's the big difference for me, is like death can happen at any point. If you're in the Final Destination movies, we chatted about this in our last week's episode, but death from Final Destination can manifest in weird ways. Like you can be eating a popsicle in the summer and it can find a way to make it happen to you, right?
Yeah.
But the key thing there, the big difference from a fear perspective is with death, you don't necessarily know how or when it's coming. So you're kind of just like living your life, doing your thing. Whereas Michael Myers is a physical villain that is walking after you that you cannot escape. So this is not like when and where is this going to happen? This is more of like when Michael Myers gets within 3 feet of me, that's when this happens, right? So from a fear perspective, I'm going to give it to Michael Myers. I don't want to be in a movie setting where he's hunting me down. I think that's top fear level in this matchup for me.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we all agree in this matchup, Michael Myers takes the win over death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Mike Myers takes the win over death.
Groovy, baby.
He lives on in our hearts and our memories forever.
Yeah,
he is timeless. He's on VHS, DVDs.
Okay, I'm gonna put an asterisk here for Michael Myers, also plus Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Okay, first matchup done. We got Michael Myers moving on to our next round. Our second matchup for today, we're looking at Jigsaw from the Saw movies versus Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I'm going to let you start with this one, Lex. What do you think?
Ooh. This one's like if it's at the term of like 1 versus 1 in a room, Freddy Krueger would win. But if Jigsaw catches Freddy Krueger off guard, then it's a whole nother level of who could win that, because Jigsaw has the smarts. He has that like the mental capacity to take anyone out, but Freddy Krueger's like more vicious.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you plop them in a city, but not necessarily close to each other, and they were both aware that the other was after the other one, you think Jigsaw? Okay.
Yeah, that's because Jigsaw can
He's clever,
trap,
right?
Yeah, exactly. He's more clever. Freddy Krueger's just more vicious. Like, I think if Freddy Krueger found him first, then he would win. But I don't think Jigsaw can let that happen. So I think Wits wins this, in my opinion.
You think brains over brawn in this matchup?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Giggs?
Now, you guys are going to have to clarify something for me here, but Freddy Krueger can find you in your dreams, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You cannot go to sleep in a Freddy Krueger universe. That's how he gets you.
Yeah, so I feel like just from that kind of idea that Freddy Krueger wins, just because Jigsaw can't just always be awake. Plus, he's a guy in a wheelchair, so he's probably taking medication, which is, it makes him drowsy. So I assume he's gonna fall asleep. And if that's true, that Freddy Krueger can just like whoop, 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 into like someone's dream, and then just like
that sound effect.
Yeah, Zoidberg.
My question to that is, even if Jigsaw were to fall asleep, he still has his smarts in his sleep. So is this, are we sort of thinking of this as Inception style? So whatever you think of in your dream, it can happen? Because if he's sleeping, he can put Freddy Krueger in like a Saw game while he's dreaming.
Oh, that's clever. Also, Jigsaw wouldn't be physically, disabled in
Exactly,
his dream, right?
That's a super good point, Lex. And if I'm being totally honest, has now made me entirely switch what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think you made me switch too. That is a good point.
Because so for the listeners who haven't seen the Saw movies, and those ones are pretty, you have to be knowing what you're getting into because those are extremely gory movies. So not typically ones that you can just like pop in and enjoy with your partner, unless they're really into heavy gore. But there will be some spoilers for a lot of these matchups, so pre-warning ahead. For anyone who hasn't seen the Saw movies, Jigsaw is actually, it's a guy. His name is John Kramer in the movie, and he's like an old dude with cancer. So he's
Walter White before Walter White, right?
Yeah. He's very physically underwhelming, but to Lex's point, he does have a lot of sort of this advanced mental, sort of twisted mind, I want to say. And I know in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, there are some ways in which usually it's teenagers, in which they're fighting back against Freddy Krueger, and it's in their dreams. They're dreaming and they're sort of acting on behalf of their physical selves in the dream to fight Freddy Krueger back. So to your point, Lex, I actually think that based off of the mental matchup between these two, I think it's actually in Freddy Krueger's disadvantage to go into Jigsaw's dreams and try to attack him there. I think actually Freddy Krueger shoots himself in the foot by doing that.
Yeah. Could you imagine a Jigsaw dream now that I think about it?
Oh my
God. Like, what would that even be?
It would be so much worse because he would think of stuff that, like, you can't really, physically do in the real world, right?
Yeah. And so this would have to be a matter of Freddy Krueger would have to physically go find Jigsaw in an awake real life environment. Mm-hmm. But Freddy Krueger normally just kind of, he approaches you at nighttime in your dreams. So, this one's tough. I think from a fear perspective, I'll go ahead with my vote first. From a fear perspective, now that you've said that, Alex, I'm going to give it to Jigsaw, actually. I think I would be too scared in this matchup to be in the Jigsaw universe, but also in this matchup, I think it's far more scarier that Freddy Krueger's main mechanism is to attack you in your dreams, and you just don't want to get in Jigsaw's head because that's scarier than anything Freddy Krueger could do to you. So my vote goes to Jigsaw. What about you, Gigs?
Lex, you changed my mind. I think that was, I think it's Jigsaw. Plus, you think about it too, and what does Freddy Krueger do? He just like stabs you with his finger knives, right? Jigsaw like tortures people, which is way worse.
Yeah, it's a slow burn with Jigsaw.
Yeah, it's way scarier.
I was just thinking about like some of the situations people are caught in the first couple of movies. I'm like, oh man, like that's the kind of stuff that like cuts you in your soul.
Yeah. Terrifying. So that's a second vote for Jigsaw. Lex, we've got a majority vote for Jigsaw, but what are you thinking in this matchup?
You guys got me with it'd be super crappy to not sleep in a universe. But I think Jigsaw, because if I'm looking at it like realistically as well, like he's probably one of the scariest ones because hypothetically that's one of the most realistic things that can happen in our world today, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it more scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not smart I can't even get out of locked rooms, so I would fail a Jigsaw puzzle pretty hard.
Like a for fun escape room?
Yeah. Like a level 1 Alice in Wonderland. I'm like, what do I do? What are these mushrooms here for?
Let alone having to remove your eyeball. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So that is a sweep for Jigsaw. And if I might, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but I think going in here, I was pretty set on Freddy Krueger winning this matchup until Lex, you brought up that argument. So I think you fully changed the direction of this matchup. So Jigsaw thanks you, I'm sure.
He will thank you in his own way.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I mean, I let him win, so
that's true.
That's true.
If anything, I can be what are those guys called that you hold the camcorder?
The cameraman?
Yeah, I can be his cameraman as a thank you.
I thought there was some specific term that you were looking for there.
As you can see, I'm not good at locked rooms or puzzles. If I can't even get the name of a cameraman, but I put those two words together, it's quite concerning.
That's going to make it on a highlight of the episode. What's the name of the man that holds the camera? The cameraman. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to our third matchup, and this is the Xenomorph from the Alien series versus Nemesis from, I want to say the Resident Evil movies, but Nemesis specifically shows up in the second one, Resident Evil Apocalypse. More so in the games, Nemesis shows up, but the matchup, Xenomorph versus Nemesis. We'll start with you, Gigs. What are you thinking in this matchup?
Okay, so this one's tough because it's just two of like my favorite franchises.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of attachment to both. So
Okay.
I think the Xenomorph is super cool. I think design-wise is one of the coolest, I don't know, creatures that has ever graced film, in my opinion. It's so weird, like the Geiger, I think this is the artist's name.
Yeah.
When he designed the Xenomorph, I don't know, it's just super cool and like creepy, the mouth coming out of the other mouth and all that stuff. And then on the side of Nemesis, so Nemesis is only in Resident Evil 3, the game, and then Resident Evil Apocalypse. So the Nemesis is a really cool stalker villain, but he's not kind of too unique, we'll say, because there are large stalker invincible bioweapons in most Resident Evils.
Mm-hmm.
But he is the coolest one because he has that dope anime trench coat with the weird no lips grin and the tentacle arm thing. So he's super cool, but I think from a visual standpoint, I think the Xenomorph wins, but I will also say that from a who is stronger standpoint, I think the Nemesis is stronger because in Aliens, the second movie, James Cameron movie, you know, they're overrun by xenomorphs, so they can be taken down, right? Yeah. But there's only one Nemesis until he's gone, right? So I'm a little split. I need to hear both of your guys' sides and to kind of like sway me in either direction. But right now it's like I lean slightly more towards the Xenomorph.
Okay.
But it's pretty even Stevens at this point for me.
Okay. And just to clarify for some of our listeners, Nemesis, if you haven't seen the Resident Evil movies or played the games, it's kind of just like, imagine a really big, hulking, like man-shaped, essentially just like a giant zombie. And if I'm not mistaken, he's got super strength because of the T-virus, but doesn't he also just carry around a bazooka?
Yes, he has a rocket launcher.
Yeah, he carries a rocket launcher.
Yeah, okay.
It's got a bit of intelligence compared to like a normal zombie. So it has like a mission, and it's smart enough to know that it has to achieve that mission by whatever means. So it has some intelligence compared to like a normal Resident Evil zombie.
Yeah, so he's not just like lumbering around trying to eat brains or anything. Like you said, he carries around a rocket launcher. Yep. He has intention and purpose, so he can enact whatever it is he's trying to do. So if his mind is set on, well, I'm going to go after you, that's what Nemesis is going to be doing.
Yeah, the way that both of them stalk you is completely different. A xenomorph is very sly and like sight unseen, sort of scary, but like the Nemesis chasing you is frightening because it's like Juggernaut chasing after you. He'll just like kick cars and trucks out of the way to get to you. Like he'll just like walk through a wall. He doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, bad guys don't use doors.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Lex, what are you thinking from like a 1v1 fight perspective between these two?
1v1 fights? I'm leaning towards Nemesis on this one. So the fact that he has a rocket launcher, I think that's the first concerning piece. Like I was initially thinking the xenomorphs because it's not just one xenomorph, right? Like we're talking about the xenomorph from Alien, so there's more than one. So I feel like I initially thought, maybe Nemesis would be overwhelmed by the number. But then I was actually just randomly thinking about a reel I sent to Gigs, I think just this week, where it showed Nemesis on different difficulty scales in Resident Evil 3, like the remake. And when you're playing it on like easy, he's walking like a zombie, like slow. He turns slowly. He's like more menacing than anything. You just want to keep away from him. But then on the highest level of difficulty, like the intense one, Nemesis is like, it's like Marshawn Lynch. He's
he's just sprinting at you.
It's like it's actually concerningly quick. And I don't think I've ever seen a xenomorph move like a Marshawn Lynch speed. But like it was one of the videos that made me jump because I didn't think he would move that fast, and they showed how quick he went up the stairs and everything. I'm like, I'm not ever playing this game on that difficulty. So if you imagine like a Marshawn Lynch with super strength and a rocket launcher
and no lips.
Yeah. And Nemesis is dead, right? He's a zombie.
Yeah.
Well, he's a bioweapon is the technical term.
So I guess my question is, can he breathe in space, or does he require oxygen? Because if not, and we're putting this into a fight in space with the xenomorphs, if Nemesis is just rocket launching every wall, I don't think alien or xenomorphs can breathe in space. They require oxygen still, right?
Xenomorphs?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about that, actually.
Because I can't remember if they had to like blow a hole in the ship for a xenomorph to fly out.
See, now I can't remember if the blowing a hole in the ship was in order to suck the xenomorph out and just like keep the xenomorph lost in space, or if it was meant to like suffocate them. Because for some reason, I feel like the xenomorphs can survive in
space. Okay.
In space.
Neither would survive in space, I believe.
Neither.
Okay.
Would.
Neither.
So,
would.
in my fight between the two, Nemesis just 360 no scoping the walls, like bazookaing everything, and then they both fly out of space. They have like 10 seconds to live. Nemesis still has a rocket launcher, so there's no way the xenomorph can reach him at that point. He can just continue shooting with his rockets.
Okay.
So I feel like I've convinced myself that Nemesis is my lead on this one.
Okay. I'm actually going to lean the other way. I think between these two, and I guess we should, well, maybe it doesn't make a difference. I was going to say, maybe we should clarify if we're just talking one single xenomorph versus Nemesis versus like xenomorphs plural. But even if we're talking about a 1v1, and I agree with what you're both saying, is like Nemesis is, I think, in just a simple 1v1 matchup, far outpowers a xenomorph. The fact that you have humans in the Alien series who can take down individual xenomorphs at a time, we're using just like guns or whatever, right? That's kind of works in the favor of Nemesis. But if we're looking at the character, the villain itself, the whole premise of the xenomorphs is that there's lots of them. So you're never you're never really just dealing with a single one, unless it's, was it just one xenomorph in the first Alien movie?
Yeah, that's why it was so effing
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So we're talking about one xenomorph causing all of that terror in the first Alien movie. But when we're talking about an ecosystem or a race of xenomorphs versus the single nemesis, I think from a terror perspective, I'm much more afraid of a growing race or species of xenomorphs. So Nemesis can take one out, but then he walks into a warehouse and there's like thousands of xenomorph eggs in that warehouse. And you're like, well, you can hold them off for however long, but your rocket launcher is going to run out of rockets at some point, and you're only one nemesis. So I think Nemesis gets overwhelmed by xenomorph forces, and from my perspective, I feel more comfortable fighting against a nemesis using whatever variety of weapons and stuff that I can to try and defend myself versus an unknown amount of xenomorphs that stalk you in non-human ways. So for Nemesis, like you were both saying, Nemesis can be walking down the street, tossing cars left, right, and center, and I can run from them. But when we're talking about xenomorphs that can like crawl on ceilings and hide, and they've got acid spit and stuff, like xenomorphs are just going to get you from anywhere unsuspecting, and that feels way more scary. The unknown stalking villain versus the one that I know I can see coming to me. So I would give it to the xenomorphs.
All right.
What if the nemesis was Marshawn Lynch speed, and you're in the middle of a football field, lights on, you have aliens on one sideline, end line, I don't know, one touchdown spot.
Sports, right?
Sports, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
This is a nerd podcast, all right?
Okay, so we've got xenomorphs in one sports area and Nemesis in the other half of the sports area.
Yeah, and you're on the 50-yard line. Where are you running to?
Where am I running to?
For the better, like, for survival, who do you think you can take out? A xenomorph or a nemesis?
I'm gonna try my chances against the nemesis.
Yeah, I would too.
Ooh,
So the xenomorph is way faster than Nemesis.
Yeah,
even
so fast.
Yeah,
Oh.
Nemesis can run like a fast human, but a xenomorph is like a cheetah.
And they're spiky and spiny, and they've
Its
got
tail is a
corrosive
spear.
spit and blood.
right, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't touch a xenomorph anywhere, otherwise you're toast. At least with Nemesis, I can go give him a hug, try and make the pitch of like, hey, like, let's figure this out. But I don't think I can hug a xenomorph. I think I would melt.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my.
Okay.
So it comes to you, Gigs. We have a vote for Nemesis and a vote for a xenomorph. So where do you lean on this one?
I've listened to both sides, and I've considered all options, and I think I'm actually going to go with the xenomorph.
The xenomorph.
Purely from a influence factor. So we know what Nemesis is, but I don't think everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the xenomorph in general is more impactful in both like media and just the general zeitgeist. Because it's so cool. It's unbelievably cool, like a xenomorph. Plus, there's different kinds, and the alien universe is really cool. I got to give it to the xenomorph just because I think, and this is where my bias is probably starting to come through, is I think it is one of the coolest looking alien sci-fi creatures I've seen. Like, they're so damn cool, I think.
I would agree with that. I think when you think alien or an alien creature, the xenomorphs kind of pop up as a quintessentially alien formed creature. And it's great. Like, it's such a cool design. You think of Nemesis, and if you haven't played the games or seen the movies, Nemesis could be the Nemesis that we're describing. Nemesis could be, John at Superstore who gets mad at you when you try grapes. Maybe he's your nemesis. So I think from a cultural impact perspective, I agree with you, Gigs. I think Xenomorph is sort of widely pop culture ingrained.
Mhm.
Even if someone hasn't seen the movie, they know exactly what the Xenomorph looks like, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We've got Xenomorph taking the win in this matchup, so that's good. So far, go ahead, Lex.
Could you imagine a Xenomorph birthed from a nemesis?
Oof. I mean, they both have this like no lips thing.
Yeah. So you're talking like a face hugger, like latches onto a nemesis and then transforms the nemesis into whatever the Xenomorph version of nemesis is.
Yeah.
Would be pretty scary.
Cool.
Yeah. I have to put a side-by-side picture now because I feel like the alien mouth looks exactly like the nemesis mouth now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Similar. They're very similar, but an alien can withdraw its lips, I believe. Whereas
that's true.
I don't think Nemesis has any lips to withdraw.
Yeah. I have seen a scene in which the Xenomorph snarls, gives it like a little Elvis lip. So
exactly.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, let's jump into our next matchup here to keep things rolling. Next matchup's going to be a bit of an interesting one. We're talking about Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat movie versus Pennywise from the It movies. And we can also talk about Shang Tsung in the video games as well. Obviously, that's where that character originates from. But yeah, we have the original 1995 Mortal Kombat movie in which Shang Tsung made a movie appearance. Now, the tricky thing about this, and for anyone who's not familiar with both of these, is the primary ability or skill of these two is shapeshifting. Shang Tsung can shapeshift into any person that he encounters. Pennywise also has the ability to shapeshift into your worst fears. So they're both sort of shape-shifting characters. So I don't know where this one's going to go. Should we start with you, Lex?
Sure. First of all, I didn't know Pennywise can shapeshift because I hate him. So
you missed half an hour of the movie.
Yeah. For those that didn't listen to the last episode, you should listen to it because that was a core memory for me. But I also blocked out all my memories about Pennywise. If I were to put these two together, Pennywise would win. And I'm going based off of Shang Tsung's power is also to take your soul, and I firmly believe Pennywise does not have a soul.
Oh.
Yeah, so he'd be like reaching into the jar and pulling nothing out. It's a big old nothing sandwich.
So it goes in Pennywise's favor due to lack of soul, is what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Technicality wins again.
I really love the positions that you're putting in there, Lex. These are just like, I never would have thought of it this way, but then you say something and I'm like, oh man, that actually shifts where I'm thinking now. Okay, Gigs, what do you think?
Oh, I'm giving it to Pennywise, hands down. Like that thing makes you scared of clowns, right? Like that is what freaks people out about clowns is Pennywise. So it's yeah, I feel like it's a no-brainer to me. I think Shang Tsung is cool and his powers are cool, but nobody likes clowns, and that's because of Pennywise.
But Shang Tsung can morph into all kinds of clowns. So he can
otherwise he's just an Asian guy. I could be Shang Tsung for all you know. I have a beard too. I just need to get really old. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Just if you look at an image of both of them, so this is where I'm coming from, right? You see a poster or whatever, you're freaked out immediately by Pennywise. Like, that is nightmare fuel for kids to adults. You know what I mean?
But don't you think, though, that it's like just that little, because Pennywise can shapeshift into your worst fears. We know that, right? But isn't it more of a scary concept that Shang Tsung could morph into a clown or the Pennywise character, but also take your soul from you?
But he has to, so if I remember correctly, he has to have your soul before he can transform into that person, I believe. So
Ooh.
he cannot just take on any shape. It has to be someone that he's already, perused their soul from. Yeah, I'm just thinking of from the movie. You remember?
Yeah.
Liu Kang's younger. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't transform into like Goro or anything. It's just like people that he's already absorbed.
Right.
Yeah.
So are we thinking then that because I mean Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat games, right? Like he's fighting a pretty veritable group of good fighters in that property. And if we're talking about MKX, Shang Tsung is in battles with the Xenomorph. Xenomorph's in MKX too, right?
So you're right.
So if Shang Tsung, because now I'm kind of playing two sides of the fence here, because to your point, Gigs, in order for Shang Tsung to do a body morph into something, he has to be able to defeat that person first, and assuming because he's taking their soul, right? So he is having to sort of increasingly defeat more terrifying characters as they go. If we're going by the 1995 movie, I would say that his threat level is pretty lightweight based off of, he's what, morphing into Pete Sampras's wife? Like it's nothing, it's not, some people would welcome that, right?
Oh, man.
So, oh gosh. Okay. So
yeah, if we're talking like video game Shang Tsung, he is way more powerful. He's like a sorcerer. He can do other things too that are equally scary, and he obviously has a brutal streak. But I still think at face value, Pennywise is both more frightening and cooler looking.
Yeah, like Drew, where would you rather live in? Like what world would you rather live with Shang Tsung or
Asian people or clowns?
Joke's on you.
Yeah, I think I agree with actually what you're both saying. I think from a terror perspective, I am more afraid of Pennywise in this case, specifically because he can. I don't know how kind of like the logistics behind this, but he can identify and shapeshift into your greatest fear. So Shang Tsung doesn't have that ability. He can body morph, but he doesn't necessarily know what your greatest fear is. So he might be, coming up to me and he is, like I said, body morphed into Pete Sampras's wife. What's her name? Sonia from the movie.
I don't know her actual name, but
Bridget Wilson.
It's so funny. Oh, that's her name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridget Wilson from Billy Madison, the teacher. So,
so funny.
Shang Tsung is coming to me like that, catfishing me, and I'm gonna feel less scared than if I see Pennywise in the sewer grate. I'm immediately terrified.
That's so scary. Just like that face in somewhere you least expect it is terrifying.
Yeah, totally. Okay. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna side with you guys. We're gonna go with Pennywise taking the matchup here.
Nice.
Okay, let's move on to our next matchup. We've got Ghostface from the Scream movies versus Samuel L. Mr. Glass from the M. Night Shyamalan movies. We're talking Unbreakable, Split, and Glass, I think, are the trio of movies there. So Mr. Glass, of course, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Gigs, you start us off with this one. Ghostface versus Mr. Glass. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna have to go with Ghostface. Even the rapper Ghostface Killer would win in this circumstance.
What?
Oh my goodness!
From Wu-Tang Clan?
Yeah, from Wu-Tang. Yeah.
Okay, I think we kind of have to paint the picture for our listeners here. Mr. Glass, played by Samuel L. Jackson, is considered to be a villain in those movies, but you know how before we said the key trait or the key ability of Shang Tsung and Pennywise is shapeshifting. The key trait for Mr. Glass, and the reason why he's called Mr. Glass, is because his bones are so brittle that they can shatter in any moment's notice like glass. So they call him Mr. Glass. He's very fragile. So that sort of feeds into your pick for Ghostface, Gigs?
Yep. Yeah. So okay. Credit where credit's due. In the movies, Unbreakable especially, incredible movie. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Glass is just inherently very evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not a good person. He is a very villainous individual. And he's just, I think he's neat, and the idea behind him is very interesting. Mm-hmm. But in terms of terror factor, visual terror, anything, I think Ghostface gets it. Even with the goofy mask, I think Mr. Glass is cool in his movies.
Yeah.
And that's as far as that can go. He's restricted to where he belongs, and that's kind of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're giving the vote from Miguel's side to Ghostface or Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Both take the win over Mr. Glass, it sounds like, from your perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Lex, tell me what you think from the physical 1v1 matchup between Ghostface and brittle-boned, osteoporosis-ridden Mr. Glass.
I mean, put it that way, it's pretty clear, but isn't Mr. Glass's power intelligence?
Yes.
He is very smart, yeah.
Extremely smart.
And to me, Ghostface is not very smart because, spoiler alert, he's not the same killer in his movies as
Correct.
he would be to Michael Myers. Or Mike Myers from Shrek. So, it's a hard one because intelligence, in my mind, outpowers brawn.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, Mr. Glass can make some elaborate scheme to frame Ghostface in any way he sees fit before Ghostface can even find him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, knowing he's already crippled and, like, in a chair, he would purposely make it so no one can find him. So, if Ghostface can never find him, like, Ghostface had a lot of trouble finding his main killers in his movies. Yeah.
The only person he wants to kill.
Yeah. He has trouble finding high schoolers in a high school. Like, just wait till 4 p.m. and follow them. You know?
Oh, man.
So,
that's a great point.
You'll have to come back to me. I need to, like, simmer on this one. Drew,
okay.
What would you want to live in?
Okay, so this one's actually, I think at face value, it looks like a ridiculous matchup, but, and if you've listened to last week's episode, everyone will know that I actually really, really like the Scream series of movies, but it's tough. So I'm on the fence. So from one perspective, from like the physical perspective, I could take out Mr. Glass. I could punch him in the face and he's done. He'll just shatter every bone in his body, and that's it. And it's typically not as easy of a solution in the M. Night Shyamalan movies because he's pitted up against people who are traditionally like heroic or the protagonist of the movie. So their moral code, like they're not just going to go up to a guy in a wheelchair and punch him in the face and like end it, right? But Ghostface doesn't have that moral code. Ghostface will happily walk up to someone in a wheelchair and punch him in the face, and not even blink twice, right? So from that perspective, I think Ghostface having that more brutal demeanor and having that kind of psychotic mentality to just, you know, go after teenagers in some of these movies makes me feel like probably going after what's considered as a villain who just happens to be in a wheelchair will be zero problem for Ghostface. But with that said, it kind of goes back to what you're saying, Lex, about this intelligence factor. Because, again, spoilers. Sorry, this is going to spoil you a little bit also, Gigs. But yeah, you're right. Ghostface isn't the same Ghostface in all of the movies, which makes me feel like if Ghostface is the mantle, individually, these Ghostface people are not really good at what they do. You know?
Yeah, they're imitators. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not running into a Halloween scenario where Michael Myers is coming back again and again and again, and you just can't kill him. It's just you have a different iteration of Ghostface coming back, right? Mm-hmm. So I think from the intellect perspective, I don't think that the Ghostface character holds a candle to Mr. Glass, actually. I think Mr. Glass is almost like a less terrifying version of Jigsaw, who can just like find ways in which he can put your abilities to the test without putting himself in direct danger. And so from that perspective, I actually think it would be very easy for Mr. Glass to take away Ghostface in any scenario. And if I think that there's someone coming after me, I can, well, we see in the movies, these teenagers physically fight off Ghostface. So I would like to believe that I have at least the same defensive capability as a 16-year-old girl in high school. Right? But Mr. Glass, if I'm not in a face-to-face confrontation and I'm just in scenarios that he's put me in, that is far more scary because I know that Mr. Glass is extremely determined, extremely intelligent, and has no regard for sort of collateral damage, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not even just talking about me being in danger. We're talking about the Triple XP arcade being in danger, right? So I think from my perspective, I'm actually going to give the win to Mr. Glass in this scenario.
Honestly, I think you guys changed my mind. If you just think about body count, like Mr. Glass kills way more people. Way more people. Yeah, he killed like a whole train full of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez.
They didn't all have to be 16-year-old teenage girls, right? They're like everyone.
You actually, you changed my mind. You changed my mind. I have to change my vote. It's going to have to go to Mr. Glass. I can't believe you made it through the first one.
Wow.
That's wild.
We've got 2 votes for Mr. Glass. Lex, what do you think?
See, I was Mr. Glass, but then the brutality of Ghostface, like the no remorse, kind of sits with me too. But no, I think I got to stick with Mr. Glass. That the intelligence factor is, I think it's too important to villains. That's what makes them dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honestly, if we're looking, I mean, we'll see in the next episode, obviously, what the matchup is then. But I think in this particular matchup, just knowing that Ghostface isn't the smartest of all of the villains that we have on the list here, that really makes the difference for me. Because if we're talking about Mr. Glass versus another villain who has that higher intellect and is as brutal as Ghostface, I think it's a different story. But against Ghostface, unfortunately, I think the intellect wins here.
Wow.
I did not. I
didn't expect that.
Yeah, coming into this, I was like, "Oh, that's a wash." I am clearly. You guys make great arguments.
Yeah, I'm sort of mind blown right now. For our listeners, we did not discuss any of these. We didn't review the matchups beforehand. We're just kind of on the fly doing these. Obviously, we saw the list, but yeah, at a glance, I'm with you, Gigs. I was like, this one's going to be like we're going to talk about this for 30 seconds and move on to the next one. But the underdog pulling through, Mr. Glass. All right. Way to go, Samuel L. Jackson. Okay. So we're going to go with our next matchup here. We're talking about the Predator from the Predator movies versus the T-1000 from the Terminator movies. The T-1000. So we're doing sort of an alternate universe version of Predator versus Arnold Schwarzenegger. Actually, hold on a second. I think am I mistaken here? The T-1000 is that the Terminator, or the T-1000 is...
That's the liquid one.
Yeah, that's Robert Patrick.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, T-800 is the...
Oh, is it T-800?
Arnold.
Yeah. Okay.
My bad. Okay.
Judgment Day, right?
Yes, that's right. Okay. Oh, this changes a little bit in my head here. I was kind of thinking Predator versus Arnold, but it's Predator versus the liquid T-1000. So
it's Arnold's villains versus each other.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Predator versus the T-1000. These are, in terms of movie villains, these are, in my opinion, two of the coolest movie villains I can think of.
Mm-hmm. This one's tough just because of the coolness factors.
Yeah.
So high for both of them.
So let me set the stage here. So we've got the T-1000, who basically is just liquid metal, can morph his limbs, his body into various liquid states, into hard metal. So he can like turn his arm into like a blade, for example. You can shoot him, bullets will go through him as it would with liquid metal, and he can kind of reform. Very cool. Predator is the Predator, though. The Predator's got a myriad of like some of the coolest movie weapons that a villain can have. They have the retractable wrist blades, kind of like Wolverine-esque blades. We have the plasma shoulder cannon. We have the net gun that sort of like burns the skin when someone's captured into it, and of course the iconic Predator spear. So the Predator has kind of like unlimited armory of very cool alien tech weapons. So what do you think? We'll start with Lex. What do you think?
I would actually have to go with the Predator on this one. The T-1000 sounds unstoppable because he can morph. He's a liquid. Even with Predator's arsenal, he'll find a way to become, he'll find a way to not, or to survive whatever weapons getting tossed at, like plasma gun. I'm sure he'll find a way out of that and all that stuff there. But I'm going with the Predator because they hunt for fun, and the T-1000, his role was he had a job to do, and he had to take out John Connor. And in my opinion, hobby wins over jobs.
It's the passion factor.
Yeah. The T-1000 will eventually lose the passion. Like, he's gonna be like, why am I here? I hate my life.
I'm not getting paid enough.
Yeah. Versus the Predator's like, this is fun. Let's go again.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's a very good argument. Gigs, what do you think?
I'm okay. This one's a little tough, but I give the slight edge to the Predator, or just Predators in general. I think, coolness factor, I think, is through the roof for both of them. Like, the T-1000 is so damn cool. Like, Judgment Day is such a good movie, and on top of that, like, Arnie versus the T-1000 is just, it's such a good conflict. But I think in general, Predators are cooler in the sense that they're like Samus, right? They're alien bounty hunters or game hunters, right? That sounds so cool. It's like, I'm just gonna go around different planets and just like mess things up and get my prey or whatever. And they have
for fun.
And all their alien tech is super cool, and their weapons are cool. Their look is cool when they have the mask. Oh man, that is like that weird dread.
Clicking.
Yeah, like crab skull thing that they got going is so super cool, I think. Yeah. And I just think visually and aesthetically Predators are cool. And from my understanding, they're also like super tenacious. Like there's stories of predators that like they'll lose an arm and an eye, but they'll go ham and they won't stop. They don't stop, right? Until they're like actually dead.
Just as another note, can the T-1000 see invisible people? Like, does he have that technology built into him? Because the Predator can also go invisible, right?
Yeah, they have the cloaking tech.
I don't know if there was any reference to, because there was no one in Terminator 2 that could go invisible.
But like he didn't have like heat radar or whatever.
Well, actually, wasn't there like a first-person view scene in Judgment Day where you could see like
infrared?
Well, I don't know if it was infrared, but he had like, it'll scan. It'll be like, oh, this person is not John Connor or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he has built-in like, infrared, maybe, because he is a space robot from the future, or not space robot, but futuristic robot. Right?
Yeah. I would assume, for the argument's sake, if you both haven't fully decided, I would make the assumption that the T-1000 can see from cloaking stuff, because he's from the future. He's not from 1996.
Exactly.
Future.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Like even Arnie, doesn't Arnie have like, is he the T-800? Is that what you said?
T-800, yeah.
Yeah. I think he has infrared vision, doesn't he?
That sounds right.
And like he's the
I thought he
precursor.
just had red vision in general.
Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know. I'd have to like watch the movies again.
Rewatch,
but I just feel like in that time, like they would definitely have, like our phones basically have infrared detectors and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So.
I would make the argument though that in this matchup, the vision tech I think cancels each other out, because the Predator has the heat tech, like they have like the infrared, but the T-1000 can turn into a puddle of liquid metal, right? So the heat signature, I'm assuming, for the Predator's visual scanning, negligible. Same with the T-1000. If the Predator cloaks, we can just assume that they either can both see each other for advanced technology, or they both can't because of the limitations of their technology, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that factor, from my perspective, I would cancel each other out on the visuals there.
That's fair. I think that's fair. And like the Predators themselves are hunters regardless of the tech, right? They're not reliant on it. They use it because they have it, but they're not reliant on it.
Yeah. I think I do lean over to the Predator side. I think this one I thought was going to be a little bit more difficult, but you've actually both sort of leaned me more towards the Predator side, just for the mere fact that, like you've both said, the Predators, they hunt. That, like, this is what they do for fun. I don't even know what these Predators would do in their home world as regular jobs. Like, do they have Predator accountants or whatever? But
mortgage brokers.
But these Predators are like going to other planets and hunting some of the biggest, most fearful creatures from planets across the universe. And again, this is like another scenario that's kind of like, I laugh about it when I think about it. In the T-1000, as menacing as it was, his goal is to kill a teenage boy. So he's way over-teched for that. I mean, obviously, if you've seen Terminator 2, you see that it's a bit of a challenge, obviously, because we have Arnie's T-800 helping to protect. But like in terms of goals, T-1000's looking for John Connor, like a 16-year-old kid. And the Predator is just going to any given planet and being like, what is the biggest, baddest thing on this planet that I can take as a trophy with me on my ship?
Yeah.
And
they're basically Frieza, man. They're just Frieza.
Yeah. That mentality to me, I think, is like, even as difficult as it is to find out how to destroy a T-1000 because it's liquid metal, I think if anyone's going to figure out how to do that and also have some sort of trophy to show for it, it's going to be a Predator. The Predator not only is as advanced physically and menacing as some of these other movie villains, but they have an extremely high intellect too.
Yes. Yeah.
So the combination there, I think, way, way outperforms the T-1000 in any scenario. And I I know for sure I don't want a predator hunting for me. It's literally called a predator.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to figure out how to defeat a predator. I'm basically just counting down till it gets me. Versus the T-1000. I mean, I know it's got time travel factors in there and stuff, and it's got advanced tech, but
It doesn't itself time travel though. It's scent, right? So it's
that's
like
true.
it
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
itself have the power to time travel. It has to go into something that makes it time travel, right? So
That's true. Yeah. I'm gonna put a vote for the Predator on this one. Do either of you have any different thoughts or change your mind on that one?
negative.
I'm
Predator's
locked in.
just
Predator
Predator's
for
just
me.
mad cool, man.
Predator,
That thing
yeah.
is the spear weapon. Oh man, they're just cool.
So
Yeah.
cool. Predator takes the win. I like that. Okay. We're on our second last matchup for this episode,
Mhm.
and we're going with the I was going to say inanimate objects, but I guess that doesn't really apply because these are villains. We're going
they
with
are also
Chucky.
animate, right?
They're also
Technically?
animate. Yeah. We're going with Chucky from the Child's Play movies, and we're going with Megan from, well, there's the single Megan movie, but there is a Megan 2 that'll be coming out in the next year or two.
Hmm.
So we're going with essentially dolls like
Mhm.
in this matchup.
Mhm.
Now, for me, a big key part here in thinking about the scare factor is the weapons that these characters are using. Chucky is a little, 2-foot doll, and he's using a kitchen knife. And Megan is maybe a 4-foot, I want to say, a more advanced doll. It's not like a My Little Buddy that Gigs had. It's like a full robot that's built in. And I don't think she has sort of like a iconic she's like AI. Was it Chat GPT? Is that how
Yeah.
she does? That's her main weapon. AI. So she kind of thinks for herself, acts for herself, but extremely advanced from a doll perspective. Super strength, has the ability to do like advanced logic and stuff for computer processing and stuff like that. What do you think? Gigs, let's start with you this time.
Okay, so I haven't seen Megan. I've seen like posters and ads and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I don't know that much about Megan in general, but from my outside looking in sort of perspective, I actually lean more towards Megan being cooler or winning in this case, because
Okay.
the uncanny valley vibe feeling that I get from that doll is way more disconcerting to me than Chucky. Like Chucky is a creepy doll, but like maybe it's just because I grew up with the My Little Buddy. It doesn't really affect me a whole lot. It's like a doll with a creepy smile, but like that doesn't really. I've seen worse, and the uncanny valley feeling from Megan is, it's just a lot more. There's a lot more unease. I don't know what the deal is with it either, so I almost feel like that is an extra bit because I know what Chucky has done and does, whereas I have zero idea what Megan is all about. So it's like that unknown bit for me is creepier.
The wild card factor.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Exactly. Wild card. Like I don't know what's up. Maybe it's like RoboCop and it has like a leg holster for something.
It got a hidden bazooka in her thigh.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I've never seen it, so that part kind of creeps me out a bit. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of why I lean more on the Megan side for the win. Yeah. Okay,
Lex, what do you think?
First of all, Gigs, I highly recommend you watch Megan.
Yes,
it's minimal gore. It's a lot more fun than I thought it would be, and it's generally just a good movie to watch. So I would highly recommend that one.
Okay, I second that. That's a good movie.
Added it to the list. Is it on any streaming service? Do you guys know?
I think it's
Netflix?
It was on Netflix. I don't know if they've taken it off since, but I think it should still be on Netflix.
Okay, we recently resubscribed for the ad version of Netflix, so nice. I'm slowly adding to my watch list. So I'll add it to my watch list.
Cool. Good.
Nice. From my perspective, again, I'm sticking with my guns on this one. Intelligence beats brawn. So Megan is the superior, smarter one. It's basically ChatGPT in a body, walking around. It's self-learning. I think that's very concerning. And this is like AI versus spiritual, because Chucky, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was a criminal who was
murderer,
a murderer put into a doll, the spirit of a murderer, and put into a doll. That's what it is at its finest. And yes, he is quite scary, but Megan is terrifying. The fact that it can just learn on its own. Like I'm pretty sure at one point she can learn how to exercise. What's Charles Lee Ray out of the doll.
You know the name of Chucky?
I'm watching the series on Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, that's my reasoning to Megan. More concerning there.
Interesting. Okay. I actually am going to make an argument for Chucky, not because that's still one of the scariest movie villains in my opinion, personally, today. I'm still terrified of dolls because of Chucky. Very iconic for me. But I think it goes a little bit to what you're saying, Lex, this is the factor of spiritual versus technology to me. And I think, because it's actually a combination of what you're both saying, because there's this factor of the unknown, right? I don't think that there's enough, I think that there's more tangible options in which we could figure out how to stop a Megan who's built on technology and AI versus a Chucky doll that was brought to life via spirits magic or whatever. Because you can, in a raw, just like physical battle between the two, I don't really think it matters, because the scary part about Megan is that she's like strong and she can kill people, but if she's fighting a doll, you can hammer on Chucky as much as you want, but he's a doll. There's this factor of Chucky being not necessarily like invulnerable, but like I think there's less of a concern for Chucky being. I think he's taking advantage of the fact that he's a doll. So I think he can be a little bit more wily. I think he can be more evasive than a normal person could be against a Megan. And I think it goes to the overall mental state where Megan is programmed, right? So she goes off the rails, but it's based off of programming. It's like she's following a set of rules, and it just happens to direct her to aggressively fight or defend whatever her protocols are, right? As long as she's following the protocol. So she's going by a set of rules versus Chucky, the killer spirit that went into Chucky. I think that's, there's no limits there. I think he's just like a crazy serial killer, and he will go to any lengths to sort of do whatever he wants to do, and he's not being guided by any programming or protocols or moral code even. So from that perspective, I know what you're saying about like Megan trying to like AI learning a way to remove the spirit from Chucky, but I also think that it's more, in my opinion, it's scarier for me. I guess this is the way that I'll frame it, is it's scarier for me having a Chucky doll that's spiritually, magically come to life than an AI something that I know is directed by a set of rules. So from my perspective, I wouldn't want a Chucky coming after me. And then the scarier part is kind of ties into what you're saying, Gigs, about this uncanny valley for Megan. I think Megan does look very unsettling from that perspective. So I think there's very few places that you can bring a Megan doll and not have it immediately raise red flags. Whereas the Chucky doll, that the mom brought the Chucky doll home. The doll was terrorizing that kid in the first Child's Play movie, and the mom was like, "You're being stupid. It's just a doll." And so you have like this doll in public in the midst of parents and police, and you can't do anything about it because if it wants to just play as a doll, it's just a doll. That's all it is. Versus if you're trying to dismantle or shut off Megan, she will have to react. And so something's going on with that, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of my position. What do you guys think? Are you holding with Megan still?
I'm thinking. You guys put very good arguments forth. Now, since Megan is a piece of technology, technically you can just beat her with a big magnet.
Big magnet? Not an EMT.
Yeah,
an EMP pulse?
Yep, an EMP pulse, a little Faraday cage. There's lots of ways that we know how to deal with technology because we live in that age. But you're right. A spiritual thing is like, what do you do?
Yeah, what are we going to learn? Witchcraft?
Yeah, exactly. That's very unknown. That's very there's no clear answer. Whereas there is a clear answer with Megan. Lex, what do you think?
It was a good argument. It actually swayed me.
Mm.
So I was thinking about the previous matchups that we had where the intelligence has always beaten the other side of things. But I think for this one, Chucky's actually psychotic. If you guys haven't watched the series, they give a backstory to him. And I was actually just thinking about that while you were explaining your stance.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Psycho's beat out intelligence because you don't know what they're going to do. You can't outsmart.
Yeah. Can't predict, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I have to agree. I think Chucky is the winner. He's creepier.
Yeah.
From that perspective, that unknown factor.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think he's as frightening looking as Megan, but I can definitely see how it would be more troublesome or difficult or even terrifying to deal with Chucky than Megan. And I think that's and I think that might just be because we know technology, but we don't know spirits invading dolls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right.
Cool. Yeah.
We're gonna give Chucky the advance on this one, much to my dismay. I
hate him. I
want to minimize the amount I think about Chucky, but it looks like he's making it through to round 2. Okay, awesome. Okay, last matchup for this episode, and then we'll break off, and then we'll finish this off in part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Our last matchup today is going to be our classic Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series versus Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. When you think about your top, 5 iconic horror movie villains, I think these two are going to make that top 5 list in everyone's list. These are just sort of iconic slasher movie villains. Both have a huge Rolodex of movies that they're both into. So a lot of really good movies coming out from just these two. What are we thinking between these two? Lex, you want to start us off on this one?
Yeah. I'm actually going to be biased on this one, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
In my favorite thing in movies is when bullies get their comeuppance,
Mm.
And Jason was bullied when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes it so satisfying knowing he's getting his revenge.
So hold on. Pause. Time out. So let me get this correct. In the Friday the 13th movies for the whole series, you're rooting for Jason?
I am.
I
am.
My goodness.
That is a take. That is, I think that we can say that's a hot take. I feel
that is a 180 on a lot of things, but he's one of the few villains that we've talked. I think he was one of the few villains in general, but even of the ones we talked tonight, he was the only one that was bullied into becoming a villain.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
I think that
relatable.
I think that checks out. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And my biasness, like the Karate Kid movies, kid gets bullied, kid wins.
Yeah.
Love that. I love that story. Jason, kid gets bullied, gets revenge. Yes.
Jason Voorhees is your Daniel LaRusso.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he is. But not only that, like he's slow. But he's like, he almost seems like invincible when people fight him. Like he's almost more menacing. Leatherface, he's more manic. I find like he runs around everywhere. He's not as careful.
That's a good word.
Yeah, Jason just watches. He sees what you're doing, then he'll walk away. He'll be like, I know how to deal with this later.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Leatherface just goes in guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
I feel like the calm, cool, collected beats manic in this one. In this specific matchup, because I'm also biased towards...
towards bullies.
Bully getting... Or no, not the bully getting their revenge. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, I like that take. That is a very interesting take. What do you think, Gig?
Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm gonna have to go. I think I'm gonna have to go with Jason here. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. They're both iconic, but I just think the hockey mask is the coolest. It's iconic from a visual standpoint. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That hockey mask, like you don't see them anymore, and the only time you ever see that old school hockey mask is either in a museum or on Jason, right? So it's kind of like, in my head, he is the de facto slasher movie face. You know what I mean? And I think that just puts him on the upper echelon, and I don't think you can knock him down from that. Or I don't think Leatherface can knock him down from there. Even though Leatherface is pretty cool in his own right, the hockey mask just does it for me. I think that one iconic visual alone is enough to catapult Jason above Leatherface. Yeah.
The mature Casey Jones.
Right? Yeah.
Rated R Casey Jones.
Well, Casey Jones has a bit of a different mask, right?
Yeah.
He kind of goes for this MF Doom sort of cooler looking Doctor Doom style hockey mask, whereas Jason's is that like just flat and circles, like the very first hockey mask sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the mask is iconic. I think when I'm thinking, because Leatherface also wears a mask, but it's like a human face. Like it's a face of human skin that he's wearing.
Yeah.
And Jason, that mask is like, when I think about a horror movie, Jason's mask comes immediately first, and it sends chills down my spine on sort of how iconic it is. For me, Leatherface is, like I said, I think manic is the perfect word for that. Leatherface just feels crazy to me and is primarily scary because feels like it's unpredictable, and he has a chainsaw. And I think that's no different than if I was to give like an 8-year-old kid a chainsaw and tell him to run around a restaurant. It's like that equal level of like, I don't know what's going to happen here. I know someone's going to get hurt, but like Leatherface is just like running around screaming and like ripping his chainsaw around, and you're like, this is just chaotic. It's scary, but from like a chaotic perspective, versus Jason has that same horror movie villain, like where he's intentional, he's stalking, and that's the other thing too, is like, I just feel like it's very hard to stop Jason. You're the kids in summer camp, and you're hitting him with things, you're throwing him in the water, you're attacking him in all these ways, and you know Lex is like, they're still bullying him. But he's like, he's still coming. Like, you stab him, he like rips the knife out and keeps walking towards you, versus like Leatherface, if you can get close enough in his sort of chaotic personal space bubble without him harming you with a chainsaw, I feel like he doesn't have that same invulnerable sense to him. He's just like, he's more of like I just want to avoid this person because their energy is just too much for me. You know what I mean? It's just a lot to handle.
That totally makes sense. That's so funny.
Versus Jason just like sends chills down my spine. And I think, I mean, we'll see what the matchups look like afterwards, but like, I think it's really hard to not have Jason be like, I think it has to be a really compelling argument to not have Jason be on the top of any of these matchups. Because for me, like Friday the 13th isn't like my favorite horror movie franchise, but I feel like Jason is one of the most iconic horror movie villains in my perspective of all time. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it over to I'm gonna give it to Jason.
Yeah, the underdog.
Is he the underdog?
To me,
right. To you, that's right. What an interesting perspective.
He's relating that to the Triple XP arcade because we're nerds here, and he's like, oh, maybe Jason was bullied because he was a nerd, so he's
exactly, yeah.
Okay, I like that. So we've got Jason taking the win in this matchup, which means our top 8 for, and let's figure this out actually on the episode here. For the finals, do we want to remix the matchups, or this is true tournament brackets, so it should be the pairings that won from each bracket? What do you guys think?
Ooh.
I think mix it up so they're equally matched.
Yeah.
Because we can't have like a Mr. Glass versus
Predator.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll mix it up. We'll see if we can balance out the matches so it's less of a runaway for anyone that gets a good pairing here. So our top 8 going into the finale next week is going to be Michael Myers, Jigsaw, Xenomorph, Pennywise, Mr. Glass somehow, Predator, Chucky, and Jason Voorhees. So we'll mix them up. We'll set a new top 8 bracket next episode, and we're going all the way from top 8 to top 1. That's a wrap for us this week on the Triple XP Arcade. We always love hanging out with you in the party, so please leave a comment below and let us know what you think about the villain matchups today. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who would you like to see in a top 16 bracket if you were to create a bracket yourself? And of course, be sure to follow us on socials so you don't miss any of our drops with new episode releases every Friday. And be sure to tune in next week on Halloween night for our finale. We're going to find who the number 1 top movie villain is in our Tournament of Terror. Until then, game on, stay nerdy, and remember, you always level up faster at the Triple XP Arcade.